Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Learn With Me stream. My name is Ashley. I work for NVIDIA as a connection evangelist. If you have not watched these streams before, I go through Omniverse and I explore parts that are new to me and try to see how I can extend and accelerate that workflow with different tools and extensions, building things or using third-party and internal extensions to see kind of what I can create out of it. So since it's a Learn With Me, if you are watching me struggle and you have an idea or you know how I can do something better, feel free to chime in. That is the great thing about the NVIDIA Omniverse community, is that we're all here to help each other and learn together. So that's really what I'm highlighting the most. Now, as my usual for the past couple of streams, I'm going to do some housekeeping because GTC is coming in just 2 weeks. It is March 20th through the 24th, I believe, or the 23rd. And there are a lot of different sessions going on. So I created this Google Doc that I share at the top of every stream. Kind of made it easy for you to find the things that I'm a part of, and give you quick links to the developer conference. StreamYard says there's an error occurred, but also that it looks like the link got sent to both Twitch and YouTube. So hopefully y'all got that. But in this document, there is a link to sign up for GTC. And then I've also included a link to the curated catalog that Amelia has created for us. This is in the forums. It has all these different recommended sessions for generative AI, digital twins, synthetic data, creators and developers, and even enterprise sessions. So you can click directly on the session number. It'll bring you to it and you can add it to your schedule after you've signed up. If you are interested in what I'm doing, I'm a part of a couple of things. First one is I'm going to be a teacher assistant on the fundamentals of universal scene description. That is being taught by Maddie and Jen, and it is limited seating, so it's 100 seats. You got to be one of the first 100 people to log in to get a seat. It will be recorded, but if you want to interact live, because this is a DLI session, so it is a course, if you want to do that with us, then you have to be there for the live session, or you can just watch the recording later. That is March 22nd at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and you can add it to your schedule. The one that I am teaching, I'm the actual leader of it, is the how to build custom 3D scene manipulator extensions. So if you are new to creating extensions in Omniverse, I'll teach you step by step with this DLI course. You'll have time to work on your own and ask questions. And Jen will also be a TA in that, as well as Eric and Paul Cutzinger. So you'll have the whole team helping you out. That is Monday, March 20th at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So of course I will not be I won't be streaming that day because I usually stream Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. So I won't be streaming the week of GTC, of course, because I got a lot going on. And then the last thing I'm a part of is connect with the experts in an AR and VR in Omniverse. So Create XR is a big component in Omniverse. If you haven't explored it yet, you may have some questions about it. Me and a bunch of different people at NVIDIA who have experience in Create XR and use it quite frequently are going to be talking about our workflow and how we use it. So I'll be focusing a lot in technical art, kind of what I do here on the streams, but in XR. I'll be showing a demo that I have as well using Action Graph, and then there'll be breakout sessions. So if you come to the live session, you have the opportunity to jump into one of the rooms with any of the experts listed and ask your questions. So that will be really fun, and that's March 22nd at 11 Eastern time. All right, so all of that is here in the docs for you. So once you click on those links, you can add them. All right, are we ready to get back into what we started last week? Let's make my screen a little bit bigger. So just kind of a brush up. We've had a lot going on. The past few streams, I've been creating this conveyor belt warehouse in Omniverse. Oh my God, I have these cameras in the way. They are, for some reason, super giant. Let's get rid of them. And these conveyor belts I created in Isaac Sim, and now they work in Create. So I've moved them over to Create. And if y'all did not see the forum post that was published this morning, we're changing the name of Create. It's going to be USD Composer, and then Omniverse View is going to be USD Presenter. So just a name to better represent what Omniverse can do for you. So soon it'll be switching from Create to Composer, which is all good. But for now, I'll call it Create, and then we'll start moving over to Composer. And in Create, I have these conveyor belts, and when I press play, the conveyor belt moves my cube along, and as you can see, my palette like shot away. I've been creating behavior scripts to add my, like, when the package falls onto the palette, it will add 1 to this counter that I have here in the scene, which keeps track of how many collisions happen. I'm thinking of like the game logic. Like, imagine you have a player and the player is running around the scene and it's collecting packages or coins or whatever, and every time it collides with that point, that coin, that package, it adds 1 to the player's score. That's kind of the logic that I'm going with the palette. The palette will add 1 to the collection score every time a palette or a package collides with it. To do that, I have been using the Python scripting components. I showed how to do that last stream, and I was having some issues because I was using the behavior script that I first found. Where did that one go? I was using this one that came in the frequently used Python snippets, and this is for checking for overlap. It didn't do really what I wanted to do, and Zia was so kind to show me some questions that were being asked in the Discord, and Mark from NVIDIA recommended checking out the physics demo scene, which had on contact report API. And then Matt from New Jersey of Institute of Technology basically gave his example of how he used that in detecting collisions on a player using the different collider actors. Now, my promise to you guys was that between Monday and today that I would get this working. And I got it working. It is a little bit of a workaround way to do it. And shout out to Jen for helping me figure this out. Hopefully, I don't know, there might be a better way to do it, but right now the workaround works, and it does use the same script that you would find in the physics demo. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, in Omniverse Create, or in Omniverse just in general, and any of the kit applications, if you go to simulation or window simulation demo scenes, make sure y'all can see that on stream. I'm going to hide my face so you can see a little bit better. So there is the physics contact demo scenes, and it is the contact report immediate API. I'm going to save this. And so we have this ball, and every time the ball hits the ground plane, it makes contact and lowers the contact threshold. So eventually the ball will stop bouncing. This is what it looks like as a script. Might be super hard to read, so I have pulled that up in Visual Studio, contact report demo.py. And so I started doing this last stream where I was just grabbing kind of what I needed, which is like this part, the make this bigger, self contact report. We're subbing to that. We started grabbing this part for sure, and then I was like confused on what this does, but now I have a better understanding of what it is. And I was trying to get it to register contact, and I messed something up, and now my palette like flies off the screen. So thankfully, with a little bit of off-stream coding, I was able to get it work. So we're going to do that today. We're going to detect collision using a script. So let's throw this off the screen. Okay, and let's go back exit that out, go back into I called it February 1st because that's when I created this one. And the script that I have for this scene is in my scripts folder. It is the detect collisions. I did open it up somewhere. Yep, there it is. So I got my detect collisions.py, and let's, you know what? Let's get rid of that. We're gonna create a new script so we can see it from the very beginning. So I right click in my content browser and I'm clicking new Python script behavior script. So this one gives me all of my like a template of methods that I can use, and we're gonna call this one our palette collision, because I'm going to need a collision detection on both the palette and my packages. And that is because I'm going to need to turn off the collision on the package so it doesn't keep registering in my attribute. So let's go ahead and click create. We're going to open that up and see what a blank behavior script template looks like. Slide that over. So we have an init, destroy, play, pause. There's no pause anymore, so we can actually get rid of that. And we have stop and update. So we'll definitely use these to our advantage. And we need to start by importing the physics from omni.physics. So in that report demo thingy, this one, we need this, like this whole thing, and this, like anything that basically has like physics. I don't need the simulation event because shoot, I don't even know where this is happening. Or like not go to definition, go to references. Nope, I don't even know where that is being called, somewhere that I don't end up using. But just from doing this off stream, I know that I need all of this. So I'm gonna Control C, go here, and Control V. And I think we're good to get going. So in my init, I need to define my palette. So actually, yes. No, not define the palette. I need to define the attribute. So first thing I need to do is create that attribute. So I know that that attribute is always going to be there and I don't have to manually go and create it. In past streams, I showed how you can go to add in your properties manager and add an attribute. I'm just going to do that in script. So the way I'm going to do that is by, let's call this, I believe we called it collection or collected. We'll call this collected and it'll be an adder. And we're going to say that this is on our prim, so self.prim, that is the prim that this behavior script is attached to. We're going to use the create attribute call, and we're going to call this attribute collected. And we are going to be using the SDF from Pixar. So Pixar has SDF imported, yep. And it is SDF.value type names. Oops, I forgot to close off my collected. There we go. Value type names dot int. And then that is going to create the attribute on this script, on the prim that this script is attached to. Okay, now I'm gonna get rid of this print. Now what I need to do is make sure that attribute, when this is initialized, is set to 0. What is SDF? It's a type of file name. Could probably look in the Pixar documentation or USD. So if we type in like Pixar SDF, and SDF prim spec is an object named, I don't know exactly. You could definitely, like, here we go. There has like a class reference. It's the universal scene description documentation from Pixar, and it explains what the SDF API is referencing. Yeah, there you go. I'll put that in the chat so if you feel like looking over it. Signed distance field. Twin Snakes shouted that out. Thank you. That's what that is. I just know that we need it in order to set this collected value type. All right, so every time this is initialized, so when I like open up my USD, it will set the collected attribute dot capital S set to 0. So it'll always start at 0. Okay, and let's define the package that we're going to be detecting later on as well. Twin Snakes corrected himself. It stands for Scene Description Foundation. It is not Sign Distance Field. It is Scene Description Foundation. That's what SDF stands for. Okay, so let's define the package, like the path for it, because we're going to need that later on. So first thing we need to do is let's call this self.package path. And I don't think is my package called a package? I think I just called it a cube for now. We'll change it later, but let's go ahead and copy this to the clipboard. It's world/cube. Open this back up. Okay, so this is my package's path, at least for now. We'll change it when we add a package. And I think we'll come back because we might need to add some more stuff later. Oh, and we're going to need to reset the character later on so that we can make sure we start fresh every time we play. So we'll call that reset character. We'll create this method in a minute. Then we're going to go ahead and call. I'm going to move no, we'll keep this there. Let's get rid of the print statement on play. And then when we press play, we're going to call reset character that we haven't created yet, but we're going to reset character. And then we're going to do that contact report API every time that we press play so that we can start detecting collisions. That is in the contact report demo. Show you where that was. Somewhere here. We need this, right? Yes. So we're going to copy this, go back here, and we're going to set this to 1. We could make this its own attribute. So we could say like self.contact threshold 1 and then just like add that here, but I'm gonna keep it as 1. It's not gonna change, so I'll just say it's 1. Okay. Oh, and we need that like contact report sub. That was here. Not that one though. We need the one that gets the physics. Where are you? I think it was all the way up here. Yep. This one. This one we need. So Control C. And we'll do all of this on play. Make this a little bit longer. Ooh, it says this on the sphere prim. No, we want to do it on the prim that we are attached to. So this is a behavior script, so it's going to be self.prim. Not the sphere, because that was in the demo. All right, I think we're good. I always think this is telling me it's an error, but I just have spell check on. And it's like, physics is not a word. It is a word. At least for my coding, it's a word. All right, what next? So we have on play. Let's go ahead and define what happens on stop. Because on play is, this is called on runtime. And then stop is, of course, when runtime is stopped. And runtime stops. And we are going to call the destroy function. So self on destroy. And so now we have to define what happens in the destroy method. So we're going to get rid of this print that came with our template. And now on destroy, we're going to make sure that the attribute is set to self dot, like the collected adder that we created. We'll set it, make sure it's set to 0. So even though we do that on init, we want to make sure that when we stop the play, it also does it. Because this will only initialize when the USD opens. We want to make sure that it does it every time play is stopped. So we'll do that. And we're going to unsubscribe to the contact report. And then we're going to set that sub to none. So it is self dot contact report sub, not the subscription, just sub, unsubscribe. And then we're going to do that same thing, but we're going to, instead of unsubscribe, we're going to just equal it to none. Like that. On play occurs when we start the simulation, and that is independent of pressing play in the timeline. Yeah, so this, using the behavior script API, knows that when I press the play button in Omniverse to call this. All right, let's see. So on destroy, I am setting my attribute to 0. I'm unsubscribing to the contact report sub that I haven't added yet. And I still need to reset character. So let's go ahead and create that method. So def on, or did I call it just reset character? There we go. Reset character. Oh, this is a self. Okay. Reset character, we're going to make sure that, I don't know if this is absolutely necessary to like call this again, but just to be safe, I'm going to set the attribute to 0. I'm like setting it to 0 in so many places. On init, when we stop play, and when the character is reset, like just to be on the safe side. Probably don't need that. It might be a little redundant, but it works. Oh, we also need to set the palette collection to 0. So like this attribute that is called collected, we need to make sure that that is 0. So we need to do that up here. So we'll do like palette collected equals 0. And I didn't have this at first when I was testing it yesterday. And I found that setting the palette collected to 0 just made sure that like it didn't keep adding to the amount of collisions that it ended with. So like if there was like 2 collisions from the palette in the package, and then I press play again, it would basically go 0, 2, and then add 2 again from the new set of collisions. So adding this seemed to fix that so that it would always restart the count as 0. So even though I'm setting the attribute to 0, it's going to set the count to 0. That's what I believe it's doing. That's what worked for me. Okay, so we have that is set to 0. And let's go ahead and on destroy, I'm going to also set my palette to none, but I need to define the palette at first. So the reason I'm setting it to none is so that it doesn't register that the palette is still making contact. And we're gonna this is so you're assigning the palette name. This is a assign as agent. I saw that Matt did this, where you turn the palette name or the prim path into a string. And this is so when you are doing the on contact report, it's recognizing what the prim path is. Oh, it's because I don't have it tabbed. And so then on play, it's grabbing the palette. The prim path is a string, and then the on destroy setting the palette back to none. Can we use behavior script with robots? Let's say when two robots in a warehouse hit each other, we can point them in different directions. Yeah, that definitely, I haven't done that personally, but that would make sense for a good use case of behavior scripts. Which I think is a really good way to show, like, to use behavior scripts is for like telling what component or what prim to do when something happens to it. So this is all going to be on the palette. So the palette is listening to this, which is why I'm going to also need a behavior script for the package. So the package knows what to do when it makes contact as well. Okay. Let me make sure I have everything correct. My init, setting the collection to 0, also setting the attribute to 0. I've got my package path. I'm creating an attribute. I'm resetting the character. My threshold is 1. I'm calling my contact report subscription. Let's change this to return. And now we can do our on contact report event. So in the demo pie, it is all the way at the bottom. It was that really long method, this one here. And I have a way better understanding of what's happening. So hopefully I can also explain it the way that I learned. So first off, we are not tabbed correctly. Shift tab. And then this one needs to be, we're going to get rid of all these print statements. All of these ones too. Actually, we're going to get rid of all of that. And we're going to get rid of this. And I learned this from Matt as well. If I can show. So Matt used the on contact report event as well. And he's using the contact headers, which is in that event, to define the colliders. And I'm going to show you in debug where what it's grabbing when it's grabbing these colliders. So it has an actor. It has 2 actors for the 2 colliders. And then basically what it's going to be doing is defining that those contacts are those 2 colliders. And if our package comes in contact with the prim path, which is our palette, and our palette is in that contact, which it will be, it'll be actor 0, then it will do this. So we have to do that. So first off, let's grab this from Matt that he posted in the Discord. We're gonna Control C, tab that in. Okay, and now what we need to do is define our contacts. The contacts are collider 1 and collider 2 that we defined up here. Need to be tabbed in, yeah, it needs to match the collider tab. Is string primpath the same as primpath.pathString? I've not used that before, primpath.pathString. So I don't know, honestly. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Julie. Hi, Julie. We just had a meeting with Julie. Y'all should check out her channel. She does stuff with Blender, and she literally created a game in Unreal in like 3 days. And I just did a game jam, and I created a game in Unity in like 2 days, and I felt like my brain was gonna explode. So Julie, good on you. That was amazing. All right, so now we need this part. We're gonna take it, but we're gonna edit it. So I'm gonna get rid of this print. And actually what we're going to do, first I'm going to show you what I did that like did not work very well, and then like how Jen came in and helped me figure out what was going wrong. And it's just like a weird workaround. I think it's like a bug that we're just trying to work around in the moment. And there might be a better way to do it, but as long as I got it working, that's all that matters for right now. So first is if the primpath, which is our palette, is in contact, and we're going to just do that. Then the check for if the package, so if package path is in those contacts, and that the package path, so basically doing that again. So, oh, we have to tab. So if package path is in contacts and in contacts, then we would set the package or the palette collection, palette collected to plus one. So we're adding to that score. And then we're going to add that to the collection attribute. So we'll set it to the self palette collected. So if you're confused on why I was like setting it to 0 in destroy, it's because when it comes to contacts, it'll add 1. So if I have multiple packages dropping on it, we want to make sure that the score is always set back to 0. Okay, let's get rid of all this. So this is what I had, and it worked. It did, but let's see if I can recreate it. So let me save this. When I was doing this, oh, where'd my contacts thing go? Oh, I must have deleted it. I was like, why is it not? I couldn't find my contacts. So I'm going to save this after I add this, and I'm going to see if I can recreate the problem, because it was detecting like multiple collisions. And it was like between 22 and like 66 collisions, and it was kind of ridiculous. And then Jen had a fix for me, and we were able to limit it to just one. So I'll show you how I do that if I can recreate the problem. So I, save. Now, sometimes when you like edit the script, you have to like reload the scene. So I'm just gonna reload it just to be safe. Now we're gonna click yes, make sure that we're executing the script. It's gonna ask us. Now when I press play, oh, my palette might be messed up. So there's like, I found that you have to, we're gonna remove this rigid body off of the palette, and we're gonna make sure that we only add a rigid body, not with the colliders preset. So we'll put that there. In the palette, the actual mesh itself will just have the collider. Because I think that's why like the palette was like flying off the screen. Oh, now it falls through the floor. Let's see. Maybe it does need the collider. Let's add the collider separately. The problem is I don't think a collider is added. Like, I don't see it on an X form. And I think that was the problem I was having when I was testing this out. Why do you still fall through the floor? Does my floor have a ground plane to it? You know what? Let's make sure there's a ground plane in the scene. Physics, ground plane. I don't trust that there is one. Just gonna move it down a little bit. No, it still falls. Okay. Palette has the script on it. Oh, it has the wrong script. I forgot to change it. That's right. I created a new script. So I gotta make sure I change it to this one. Now let's save. Let's restart the scene to make sure that it's registering the correct one. Click yes. And click play. Oh, come on, palette. You don't want to fall through the floor. I know you don't want to fall through the floor. This one needs a rigid body too, though, maybe? But I think that was the problem. Let's see. That is so wild. Why is it doing that? What errors am I getting? Uh-oh, I might have to restart create. Let's restart. So let's click save. Sometimes that happens when like let's pop up here on the side again. Okay. I don't know if it's a cache issue or what, but that happens occasionally to me. When I start seeing like, oh, Pixar errors, then I usually know that I just have to like restart, create. I can't tell you why, I just know that I do. It's loading. I just have to pull it over. There we go. Okay, let's find that scene. Click yes. Okay, palette, don't fall through the scene. Don't do it. It still does it. What did I mess up last stream that it now is like being bad? Let's Okay, you know what? This might be an illegal move, but delete and palette. Oops, I can't spell palette right. Palette. We're just gonna pull in this like nice pretty one. Whoa, it's massive. And we're gonna call it palette because that's what I named it in the script. And then I'm gonna resize it because this is giant. 0.5? Nope, still like super big. 0.05? 0.02? Okay. Okay, let's at least make sure this palette doesn't fall through. This palette does not fall through. I messed up that last stream. I don't know what was happening. Let's go ahead and give it the Python scripts. Add it, which is in my scripts, and we called it palette collision. This is, I made an rigid body is missing X-firm stack of blah, blah, blah. Please fix the hierarchy or use X-form stack reset. What's X-form stack reset? I don't know. Let's press play. Oh, there's no rigid body on it anymore. Rigid body with colliders preset. Oh, we have to make sure our action graph was updated because I deleted the other one. Was that the right action graph? Yes. So make sure. Let's delete this one. What time is it? 1:46. Okay. We're doing good. Oh, where'd that collected attribute go that I created? It's not being initialized. Oh, because I didn't add the script. Wow. I jumped ahead of myself. No, I did add the script. That's suspicious. All right, let's go look at our palette. Let's look at its raw USD properties. There's no collected attribute being created. Let's save the scene. Maybe because I had to delete everything. Reload it. Oh, only streaming for an hour today, like every Monday and Wednesday. The problem is on Wednesdays, there's that community stream. And since we're on the NVIDIA Omniverse, Twitch and YouTube, I have to get off I try to get off 5 minutes before 2, but I should get off a little bit sooner so that they can get on. Also, I'm on that one. So I do have to get off and go to that one. That one we're going to be talking about GTC sessions. So all this stuff I've been giving you at the beginning of my stream about GTC stuff, they're going to be talking about even more, and I'm going to be talking about the sessions I'm doing too. So you want to join that and see what's going on in 2 weeks. All right, come on. Let's do something today, please, palette. Where's that collected attribute? Wow. Let's look at the script. Palette collision. No! It deleted it! It deleted it! Oh my gosh. I warned of this last stream. Oh my goodness gracious. It deleted everything I did. And then, look, I press, Control Z. Wait, I pressed Control Z. And it came back. Oh, thank gosh. I was about to... This happened to me Monday morning before my stream, and it was a sad moment. Control S and Control A and Control C to make sure that this is saved, because that was scary to come back and all that code you write is gone. All right, please work. There it is. It worked. All right, the collection attribute is there. I did end play before I saved, Jen. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know why I did that. Sometimes it's wonky. Okay. Let's just get this to work. Oh, that's right. I didn't fix the action graph. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to do this so fast. Viewport UI. Yep. Okay. I have to change this. Collected. This is the correct one. And we call this one collected. Hey. Okay, it's not registering. Does this have collision on it? Cube. Do you have a collider? You do have a collider. What if we change your approximation type? All right, dude, you don't want to work. Anyway, let me show you all the workaround that Jen came up with so that we can try to get that working for next stream before I have to get off this for the community stream. So basically what I was experiencing when I just had this itself is that it was coming in contact with the prim path, which is this was collider 1, and it was registering 22 to 66 times. That might be a bug in the approximation type. So the workaround is by creating an array. So in your init method, you create an array, and we call this array contact objects. It's an empty array. And then what we do is check that the box or the package is in the array. So if self dot package path is not in the self dot contacts objects, then we will add it to the contacts object using append package path. Then we'll do this, right? So this was the workaround. Package did it make contact? Or is package in the contact object? And when it makes contact, add it to that array, then add 1. And that was the workaround. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time to demonstrate it working. Ugh. Did it add to at least the palette? Nope, it didn't. So this cube, did it turn the collision off? No. All right, so, goal accomplished today. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't add a script to the cube to tell it what happened, which is when it turns collision off, but it still didn't work. So goal today was to get a behavior script at least written. Cool. Goal accomplished. Monday, fix why it's not working here, because I'm going to show you, look, I'm going to show you an example of it working. The exact same one. This was the test. We're going to save this. We're going to click yes. Okay, so exact same scripts, right? But we have one on the package, so the collision is disabled on the package. That's the only difference. Is this one is if contact happens, then disable collision on package. That's the only difference. I'll show you. See? Grab the collision attribute, which is the collision enabled, set it to false. That's the only difference. So now when we press play, it adds 1. So that's the exact same script. This is a little test that we did yesterday, and it works. So let's try for Monday to get it working in our scene that we've been working on for the past couple of months. And that will be what we do Monday. And also, I'm trying to get it work in Action Graph by doing check overlap. So, maybe we'll have that working too. Those are what we're going to set for our goals. Now, what we're gonna do now is jump over to the community stream. So the community stream is talking about GTC sessions. So if you want to know more about what's going on at GTC, more than what I'm just doing, then tune into that. It's gonna be on here in 7 minutes. So I'm gonna end the stream now, jump over there, and I'll see you guys in 7 minutes. Okay? Thanks for joining. As always, you guys are awesome. Bye. Upload simple test version, please. Oh, yeah. I'll add that to the GitHub. Good note. Okay, bye for real.